The foundation basically was started in 2016. My wife and I took proceeds from our medical imaging company, which is a for-profit company, and we saw the need for hyperbaric oxygen therapy to be given to our veterans, and we felt this is a great way to fulfill that need. So we would take profits from our company and we would sponsor a veteran one at a time. And when we started from there, 1 turned into 3, 3 turned into 10, and so on and so forth. And before you know it, we found ourselves starting a nonprofit to be able to expand that and help more veterans. How I came across hyperbaric oxygen therapy was serendipitously through a retired Army colonel that came to my office, and they were looking for an imaging center that can perform a before and after nuclear SPECT scan. It's a single photon emission computer tomography. It's a fancy way of taking an X-ray of the brain, but not just looking at the anatomical structure, but also seeing how it functions. So by measuring the function and the blood flow of the brain, we're able to see first when they come in, especially combat injured veterans that have suffered concussions, traumatic brain injury, we're able to see the effects of that. We call those the invisible wounds, now we make them visible. And we're able to demonstrate that to the veteran and say, here's why you feel and act the way you do. And we show them those images in a 3D picture.
Yeah, I served as a team leader in an infantry platoon with the Army's 10th Mountain Division while fighting the ground war in Afghanistan. And while I was in Afghanistan, I was inside of 2 vehicles that were blown up and totally destroyed. The first one by a roadside bomb we ran over. I was physically unharmed in that explosion. However, I did notice signs of a brain injury. I just didn't notice it at the time. And then a few months later, I was attacked by a suicide bomber in Kandahar who drove his vehicle into my door of my vehicle and exploded about 3 feet away from me. And that injured me. I was burned in the face, 2nd degree to the face and neck, which is now obviously healed, 3rd degree on both hands, and spent 14 months at a medical center in San Antonio, Texas.
The Medal of Honor was earned on November the 18th, 1967, down in the Delta. There were 42 artillerymen, and we were in the middle of the jungle supporting our infantry. At 2 o'clock in the morning, we were hit by a reinforced heavy weapons battalion of NBA. I was hit with our round, a beehive, flechette round, was what I got hit with. At the time, it actually saved my life because I was unconscious, laying half in and half out of my foxhole. I was artillery, and the enemy started turning my howitzer around to fire at my guys behind me, and my guys, the next gun behind us, thought that we were all dead. And so they fired the beehive over my position. They said they seen me kind of, and I rolled and fell face up in my foxhole. And I'm laying there and I couldn't hear nothing. All I could see was pretty lights. And I remember thinking, wow, this is just like Christmas. Well, as my head started to clear and I started to hear a little bit again, the enemy had hit our gun with a rocket.
Well, our nation has been at war for over 30 years continuously in the desert, in the Southwest Asia area. Obviously, before that, Vietnam, Korea, and as well. Hundreds of thousands of our veterans have been injured, and the injury is not an apparent one where a leg is broken or there's a visible wound. This is a injury that is not visible, yet the impact on the soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, and the families is unbelievable, and that is what really tears at my fiber, if you will, I've seen this over a 33-year career of people that are just, they've been injured and there's no real way to resolve it.
Going back to 2009, when the Army colonel came to me, he introduced this project. They were going to do 10 Gulf War veterans, and they needed a way to measure the before and after benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So we decided we'd love to help out. We did, and it was my aha moment. The first, and I have those images of the first scan that we ever did. It was literally just remarkable, the changes.
Yeah, after the injury, after the war injury, one of the biggest injuries I actually suffered after my body physically healed from the burns was actually the mild traumatic brain injury I had suffered just from being so close to the concussions of the blast and the effect that has on the brain. And life was pretty frustrating for a long time because, I mean, I had trouble sleeping, falling asleep, staying asleep. I would get dizzy a lot. My mood regulation was all over the place. I was an emotional roller coaster. Anything sort of set me off. I was very hypervigilant. My short-term memory issues were really, really bad.
Before the hyperbaric, intense pain physically, intense pain in my brain and heart, my soul. The hyperbaric chamber, after the first few sessions of it, I just couldn't believe. Now I still hurt, but it reduced my pain level tremendously.
The importance of how hyperbaric oxygen therapy has helped veterans has been a huge impact in mine and my wife's life. We got to see firsthand how veterans, soldiers that were literally at the brink of suicide. We've had veterans that a week before coming to us have run their truck into a telephone pole because they wanted to end their life. And thank God they didn't. They found out about our program and came, and we got them in right away, and we've seen the changes. And for my wife and I, this is probably the most important thing we've ever done.
This is not just healing the body. What we do is we look at the three pillars of life, of good health. It's mind, body, and soul. And so we not only put them in the chamber twice a day, we bring them together back in a squad. That's what they miss as veterans. We were all on a team at one point, and so when they come back from war, they go into their lives and they miss the team. And the team is the fiber that holds us together.
Yeah, I can remember things better now. That's huge. I can actually remember what I had for breakfast, whereas before, at 24, 25, 26 years old, I could eat breakfast and then forget an hour later what I had. I even forgot one day I was eating lunch at a table with friends and somebody walked by and asked me what I had, and I had just eaten it and I couldn't remember, and the guy next to me goes, "Oh, you had this or that," and that was really eye-opening because that's not normal for someone that young. But yeah, I sleep better now. I never used to fall asleep on time or early. I'm usually a 2 or 3 a.m. guy. I have been since I joined the military. Now I can fall asleep at 9:30 at night, 9 o'clock. I'm not as mad as often. I'm not as hypervigilant.
It's the hyperbaric chamber has helped my brain. My wife has said that my thinking is sharper and clearer. My memory is better. So it's helped that. So it's helped my mind, my body, and my soul. And I believe in it 100%.
But the treatment they're offering is not offered by the VA. It is not offered by the military for brain injuries. Even though we can see very clearly on brain scans over and over and over again, there is great progress made. The military, the VA will not offer this to you for, as of the time right now, for treatment of a traumatic brain injury to any extent. And the 22 Project saw a need, they saw that gap, and they knew they could do something about it. And so they started doing it. And I'm just one person of many, many who has benefited from it. They literally gave me my life back.
We need your help. The 22 Project cannot function by itself. We need every American that loves America to come and be part of this, because all of us standing up together can turn this around and make it be what we hope it can be. And that's with all of us working together. God bless y'all.